Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Game Hub. I'm your host, Gamer K. With the recent release of information about Darksiders 4, it's time I gave some ideas for our final Horseman, Strife. All the ideas for combat, bosses for our gunslinger. So, let's get into a hell of a... Oh, hey, Kay, what's up? I guess you're wondering what I'm, doing. Well, I figure that since we haven't heard any Darksiders news in a couple years, I figured that I might as well get the ball rolling. Okay, so I'll just get going.
You aren't going anywhere, E. You're the one who got us into this dumbass idea. And try to make me the one doing it with your frickin' intro. So now, we are gonna do this thing properly so my good name isn't stained. But first and foremost, get the hell out of my shirt!
Wait, how did you...
Get here now!
Wait, how the hell?
That's better. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Game Hub. I'm your host, Gamer K. This idiot decided to try to do a video with my name without me. So now, we are going to do it right.
Yeah, fair enough.
And this is going to be the ideas for Darksiders 4.
Wait, how did you get me here that quickly?
And we watch internet reviewers who battle ancient gods from other dimensions, a giant a corporate monster who kind of looks like Corporate Commander a little bit, and a movie reviewer who frickin' battles the evil forces of cinema. You're really asking how a Canadian guy got you here?
Point.
Thank you. So, with the game rewards that, or not the new game show, whatever award show, whatever happened, there was a small smidgen of a trailer for Darksiders 4. Well, again, a smidgen teaser. And since 2018 is when the last one came out.
Which was Darksiders 3, yeah, and that was a good game.
Yeah. So, considering there's one Horseman left, it would be stupid of them not to do a video for him, Strife.
Yeah. Which, to clarify for anyone who doesn't know this, there was a game where Strife and War were in a game together. It was called Darksiders Genesis.
But we're not counting fucking spin-offs.
We're not, it's not, technically it's a prequel to all of the games. Anyway.
Exactly.
So he technically was in a game, but not a solo game. Which is what hopefully Darksiders 4 won't screw up.
Hopefully. So, to go on, it's kind of a information hunt here. All the Darksiders game takes around the same time, just with different bosses, different monsters, and different stories for each Horseman.
Darksiders 3 takes place before Darksiders 1, while War is still chained up.
Okay.
For his trial. Darksiders 2 takes place in the middle of...
With Pestilence.
With death.
Oh, right.
With death.
Right.
Takes place in the middle between 3 and 4, or 3 and 1.
Okay. Okay.
And a little bit inside of Darksiders 1.
So it makes sense for Darksiders 4 to kind of coincide with going through all three of them.
Yeah.
All right. Now
he does actually have to. It does have to end up with him right before Fury shows up in Darksiders
with the sins.
3. With the sins, it has to prelude.
Right.
It has to again prelude before that, so it's got to take place before all of them.
Right.
So,
and for those of you who don't know, Fury, Strife is basically the gunslinger of the group, which I kind of like, because not in a lot of games do we get like an actual hack and slash kind of theme game with a gunslinger.
Yeah, Darksiders 1, you did get a gun, but it was more of a
side option.
Thing. Same thing with Darksiders 2 and Darksiders 3.
Well, that wasn't really a gun. That was more real like magic blasts, wasn't it?
No, they were all actual guns.
Okay. But we actually get like gun combat in this, so hopefully they don't fuck that up.
Yeah, and well, we are going to be discussing what we hope will be in the game.
Mm-hmm. In terms of kind of a story, I've only seen Darksiders 3 prominently, and Darksiders 2 and 1 are kind of like little bits of information. So they kind of battle
demons,
ancient deities, and also the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
So going off of that, the story-wise, so all 4 horsemen are on their own individual quest by the High Council people, right?
The Chart Council, and
they kind
Death
of
went on his own mission to restore humanity in the second
War.
game. War went on to clear his own name.
So he was falsely accused of something.
He was falsely accused, and he had to go clear his name.
And Fury was sent to reclaim the 7 sins.
Well, ultimately, at the end of that, she finds out that the council
lied to her.
Lied to everybody.
Yeah, and they released the sins themselves, didn't they?
No.
No.
They did not release the sins themselves. They would never have ordered that because they're not stupid.
But they wanted to clean up a mess.
They wanted to clean up a mess that something caused.
They said, yeah. And then, shockingly, the Watcher that follows you throughout the entirety of the game, shockingly, is actually Envy.
Yeah.
So
at some point, Envy somehow replaced a Watcher. Although, in the first game, and you love this fact, the Watcher that's with War is played by Mark Hamill.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that is cool. I gotta watch these now.
Yeah.
Okay, so for voices, does Strife has a voice yet or no?
Well, in human form, yes.
Do you have
and in Genesis, he does also have a voice.
Do you have a phone? Your phone?
Yeah, I do.
Check it out. Check out voice from Strife Darksiders, because I need to know this information if we're gonna get information properly. We're doing it properly here on the Game Hub. Yeah. While I also kidnap my best friend.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a minute.
On that side note, a couple things that I think could happen for a little bit of gameplay. Wow, Darksiders is, again, a hack and slash game. There's not that many puzzles, if I'm remembering correctly, right?
There are puzzles, but they're not too bad.
I think for certain puzzles, it could definitely be used to work with your gun gameplay. For example, throughout the game, because I remember Fury getting different abilities.
Yep, they all...
And certain elemental abilities.
Yeah.
What if after each main boss fight, Strife would get an upgrade for his gun, where it would start off with...
Yeah, that was
starting with his pistol.
Voice of Strife.
Starting off with his pistol, then it upgrades into like a shotgun, and then into a sniper rifle, a Gatling gun, a minigun. What is that?
No idea.
You want me to look it up?
Yeah. Oh, that's... No, I just went to the wrong... Oh.
See, this is exactly why I don't kidnap him immediately and why we plan things out first. Because kidnapping my best friend like this is, Hang
on, I just hit that one. There you go.
Maybe typing...
There we go. Alright, fucking commercials.
Yeah.
Thank God it's skippable.
Why didn't you just go online and type in Strife Darksiders voice? Ed, this doesn't help us.
Yeah, I know.
Give me the phone. Oh! We are in the presence of greatness. Static Shock. Phil Lamar is the voice of Strife.
Nice.
Dude!
Hopefully they bring him back for Darksiders.
Dude,
4.
we may be able to have play as Static Shock in a video game.
Yeah.
But as a gunslinging demon. But dude, come on, think of it.
Yeah, no, that would be good.
So
hopefully they bring him back.
So like I was saying, for Strife's upgrades, it would start off obviously with his pistols, but then as like he could switch out for a shotgun, a minigun, a giant Gatling gun, a sniper rifle for different boss fights.
Yeah. And maybe a sword or something.
No.
As or a throwing knife as another projectile.
Ooh, no. Elemental charges.
Ooh, yeah.
Like poison, electricity, fire to damage certain enemies. Because this is a hack and slash game.
Yeah.
Just like Kingdom Hearts, status effects.
Yeah. And also going for the armor.
Like he can switch between regular bullets or elemental bullets.
Yeah. And going into his armor set, they could do a mixture of what they did with Darksiders 2 and 3, where you get different armor. You can find different armor sets and pieces.
Yeah.
And upgrade those, or you could just upgrade your base armor fully if you want.
Now, obviously, that's basically it for Strife's combat system. Basically, using different gun maneuvers, dodge rolls while you shoot for counterattacks.
Yeah, and obviously you would go do somewhat of an exploration within the world.
Well, obviously.
And find, again, different armor pieces, and also upgrades for health, armor, and whatever else.
So Strife is basically, what is the definition of Strife?
I do not remember.
Like, again, this is an idea video, so we're not, like, there's no script for this. We never planned this ahead. This idiot tried to take my job, so I got him here to do it properly. Let me see. Anger or bitter disagreement over fundamental issues.
Yeah.
So, as a story, because each horseman has to deal with something. One has to clear his name. One does a job for his own purposes. And Fury's basically being led astray by two forces.
Technically. Well, by the chart council.
The council and envy.
Yeah.
So I think for Strife,
technically there's also a third force.
That giant king thing, right?
The King of Hollows, yeah.
Yeah.
But actually he's more of a
guide than anything else.
Mentor guide.
Exactly.
And he gives her really good power-ups.
Exactly my point. So I say for Strife, let's make him kind of an understanding villain, hero. Like he goes off into the human world to kind of find...
Or a mission that results in the 7 Deadly Sins release, tying into the third. Because something released the 7 Deadly Sins, and the Charred Council sent someone in to...
It was Envy. Envy got out and wanted her siblings' powers for herself, but she knew she couldn't defeat them.
Yeah, but something had to help her get out. So something in this game has to trigger
The
that.
Charred Council used her, so she used them.
Yeah.
And in turn used that Fury.
Yeah, but there could also be I guess in 4 we could do something. We could do
What if
that?
You know what? That's not a bad idea. Going forward in that, saying like Strife finds out that like the Charred Council first brings Strife in to find out who released them, who released the 7 Deadly Sins. So Strife goes in the human...
Or who's trying to release them. Because we could have someone trying to release the sins in his game. But and they have to send him in to find out who that is.
But it doesn't make sense if they're trying to release the sins.
Not the council, but somebody else.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Other demons.
But it doesn't really make... Actually.
It kind of does, actually.
Okay, no, I see where you're going with this. And midway through the game, the sins are released.
Yeah.
And then that's when Fury's story continues, but Strife is halfway.
Yeah, and while she's off doing missions and when he's not in the human protection camp, he's off doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
And he is at odds with the council at the...
Think about it. Like, what if after halfway through, Strife starts rethinking? So here's how I'm thinking about, like, the halfway part.
Yeah.
So Strife is contacted by the Charred Council to investigate who's the plan to release the sins.
Yeah, and like with the first game and the third game, you actually meet in where the Charred Council sits.
Well, yeah. How else would they tell him?
They could send a watcher.
You know,
I know, but I know, but after they give them the mission to go and find out what's going on and who's trying to release the sins.
In order to do that, Strife goes to the mortal realm because it leads us to the mortal realm, the human realm.
Yeah.
So Strife starts kind of fighting possessed humans, who are
Well, at that point, they would have already been... But actually, no, they wouldn't have been fully wiped out by that point. So, yeah. Sorry, continue what you're doing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, we get that, and we, like... Basically, that will be, like, the tutorial battle.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll get, like, a semi-boss fight of a collective form of all the anguish and the hatred of humans that manifests into like this giant monster.
Okay.
We destroy it. It's all gone. And then Strife hears a small noise, draws his gun, and he sees a human, like a human child.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Horsemen don't really give a damn about human lives and all that stuff. But Strife somehow sees something in like fear in this kid's eyes.
Yeah.
And thinks, like, he's not the mission.
Yeah.
So, doesn't do anything.
Yeah. That would be a great opener.
Small bit of showing a little humanity into one of the sins.
Yeah, and the more missions he goes on, he can discover more and more humans, and then...
First half of the game will be dealing with these collective monsters. Like, each one will have their own, like, battle stat. Well, not battle stats, but, combat and weak points.
Okay, yeah.
And after we destroy them, we absorb their hatred and infuse it with the gun, allowing it to transform into the different forms.
Yeah.
And then halfway through, we see someone obviously tampering with the seal of the sins, which is obviously kept on Earth because who would have thought to look there?
Yeah, so we would basically see Uthane tampering with the...
Nope.
No, not Uthane. No.
We've battled demons. We battled sins.
And angels.
I say we do the archangels.
So one of the archangels... Okay,
A couple of them.
Yeah, because we've only fought minions.
Exactly. Like Uriel, Amenadiel, Raphael.
Yeah.
Like, we pick a bunch of different ones, and they're all different. Fighting style, weaponry. Think Organization 13 by Angelic.
That would work.
But it's not revealed it's them until, like, our first big boss fight. I mean, the other ones would be, like, monster bosses, but not, like, a big boss fight.
Yeah.
Where it's another possessed human.
Yeah.
And after we kill him and absorb... But we're not absorbing hatred or anything. It's angelic power, which saps us.
Yeah.
And then after that, our weapons are downgraded again. So think of the opening of God of War 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Where all of our abilities, all of our weapons are gone. Because we accidentally absorbed the angelic power. And that disrupts us. So our gun reverts back to the pistols. So, like, for the first 2 to 3 hours or more of gameplay, we get our first taste of, like, the upgrade abilities.
Yeah.
And then the halfway mark, we lose them again. And then, after the cutscene, the boy we spared earlier, it's his father that we killed, who was possessed.
Yeah.
And we see the sadness in him. And Strife kind of doesn't understand, like, what happened. Like, he's not understanding what's going on.
Yeah.
But then he sees the look in the kid's eyes, and it's different. First it was scared and, like, innocent.
Yeah.
But now it's tainted with
I
anger.
With that. Yeah.
And that's what breaks the seal of the sins. A raw emotion change. in front of their presence breaks the seal.
Yeah.
And then after the seal's broken and the sins are free, Strife, it passes out from after the huge boss fight.
Yeah.
And then is awoken to 5 of the 5 archangels who kind of like mock him and taunt him, saying, well, the Horseman of Strife. The Charred Council's really going to have your hide. Like, they're all different personalities, different...
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that. Yeah, and that would work.
These 5 archangels got sick and tired of guarding heaven and protecting humans. Like, they see them as lower life forms.
Yeah.
So they figured, what better way to wipe the slate clean than have the apocalypse happen by releasing the sins? And first, they blamed everything, along with the people who blamed war.
Yeah.
And sent death on a wild goose chase.
Which ultimately did not turn out to be a wild goose. He did actually find the Well of Souls and revive humanity.
Exactly. But these 5 archangels now want a different ending. After death basically foiled their first attempt. Yeah. And war's basically on a war path.
Yeah.
But now Fury's occupied.
Yeah. So
now that Strife is weakened, they think this is the perfect time to take control. Yeah, so now now that giant king dude that looks like a salesman, now contacts Strife saying, you were led astray too quick and you acted before you thought.
Yeah.
And they use that on you. So now he gives us our first upgrade again, the shotgun.
Yeah.
And our abilities that we absorbed throughout the first bit of the game, or first third of the game, have now been absorbed by the angels. All that corrupted influence that we gathered, they absorbed it from us. They're not corrupted. Like, it's not like in God of War 3 when the gods were corrupted by the malice.
Yeah.
But they're still power hungry, but they're not corrupted by it. They've already been decided, we're doing this, we're gonna take over heaven and earth.
Yeah.
No one can stop us. Because we're going to pin it all on the Horseman.
Yeah, and that would be, honestly, a good idea for the game. Hopefully they do go that route.
Exactly. And for boss fights, obviously they'll be in different locations, causing different problems for humanity. I feel like the first one would be like the strong silent type. And his weapon is an angelic shield.
Yeah. And you have to find a way to get the shield out of the way to damage it.
Dodge roll, and then counter strike.
Yeah.
Second boss fight would be the cocky one, who like mocked Strife when he was down and said, doesn't matter what you do, the big guy upstairs will believe us, and we'll leave all of you in the dust. Like the mocker.
Yeah.
And his weapon will basically be 2 quick, small daggers. So he's quick and he'll get up and close with you.
Yeah.
So obviously your melee, so this is when you have to go into your unused melee combat. That Strife doesn't use that much.
Yeah.
And once you get it, like, cutscene after you beat him, he keeps mocking you, saying, you're doing this for what? Lonely humans. Like, you're a demon. I'm an archangel.
Technically Strife and the other horsemen are...
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know, but yeah.
Saying, why lower yourself to defend something pitiful? And that's when a cutscene of Strife's head goes back to that kid that he saved. He didn't know why he saved him.
Yeah.
And then he realized that by saving him, he accidentally caused the big issue. Because that kid's sorrow released the sins. So Strife basically says that he's learning more about what humans are. They're not just playthings for angels and demons.
Yeah.
And third, so the other boss fights will obviously have a lot of weapons, a spear, a sword, and then the final boss, like the leader of these archangels, will have a giant holy gun.
Yeah.
Think about it. Strife, a gunslinger. Final boss is another gunslinger.
Yeah. That would honestly be a fantastic thing to see.
And in the final, like, there's no QTEs in Darksiders, is there? Because from what I remember, there aren't. But
in Darksiders 2, there was a quick.
Oh yeah, quick
thing.
time. That's okay.
Yeah, there was a couple of them. But
So imagine for the final fight, like the final boss fight, like midway through Health Bar, we get this cool cinematic scene where it's not much of a QTE section, but once we beat the guy down, we take his weapon, and yeah, it's a holy weapon, so it's hurting us.
Yeah.
But after we infuse it, we change it into a darker form of it.
Yeah.
And we basically beat this guy, and obviously the bullets won't work. So we use it as a melee weapon. And we beat this final guy to death with his own gun.
Yeah.
Because what is so more badass for a gunslinger guy throughout the whole game, but to use the final attack of a gun and not shoot with it?
That would be fun and hilarious.
And then after we defeat all these archangels, it's revealed that the High Council knew all along who was doing this. Like, who was plotting it.
Yeah, the Shard Council would have known that it was actually the archangels.
Exactly. And just like they did with Fury on the Goose Chase with the Sins,
yeah,
they sent Strife in to not only allow it to happen, because, again, it's the apocalypse. They gain more human souls through it all.
But he was also sent to make sure that the archangels that were there didn't screw anything else up by eliminating them.
Actually, the way I'm thinking about it is that it's edging bets. The Chart Council's edging their bets. Not only did they know who was going to release the Sins, but by sending a Horseman on the trail, they knew a Horseman wouldn't, take it sitting down.
Yeah.
So, by putting them in the path of the Archangels, not only did they release the Sins so that Fury could deal with them, Strife ends up dealing with the Archangels, so it's literally killing two birds, one stone.
Yeah.
Because think about it, the Chart Council basically are the hidden masterminds behind the entire series.
Yeah, and by the end of the third game, they are actually
villains.
Damaged.
Yes.
That's why in the first game you see that they have a damaged aspect to them.
So imagine this for Darksiders 4 DLC, End of the World, where the Chart Council, there's three of them, right?
There's three heads to the Chart Council.
That's what I mean, it's three beings.
Yeah.
Imagine if after all this, after that final fight with the fight with Fury, we're still Strife.
Yeah.
But the three Chart Council captures the three other horsemen and uses their powers and to finally gain physical forms.
That wouldn't work because at the end of Darksiders 1, War, he has the seventh seal shattered, resummoning all of the horsemen to Earth.
Right.
And since he's already there, the Shard Council they don't actually have any means to
this is why this is an idea video. I don't know all the facts about it. I'm giving gameplay ideas, story-wise.
Yeah. But the Shard Council could have another method of getting physical bodies.
Yes, and then in the DLC we fight with all four horsemen.
Yeah.
Against all three of them.
Yeah.
Or would that be too much?
No, that could work. Each member of the Chart Council has their own specific mechanic for the fight.
What if Strife uses the powers of the other horsemen and turns their weapons into guns?
Ooh.
Uses their abilities to fight the three Charred Council using the three remaining horsemen.
Yeah. He can take War's ability to turn into a rage form. Take that energy. Minigun.
Death.
He uses scythes.
Okay, for a gun.
And he also has the ability of death, so he could put a decay affliction upon the council.
Shotgun with a
decay effect.
Those quick reloading ones where you spin it and it opens up.
Oh yeah.
A Winchester
rifle, yeah.
And for Fury, sorry. For
she's more again anger and all that. So
no, calm anger, a sniper rifle.
Yes.
Oh, like these are great. These are great. Like, I'm not so like knowledgeable about all this. So, yeah, this is interesting. These are interesting ideas.
Yeah.
And obviously, obviously, there's going to be like a special item, a weapon, after completing the game. So, what if you do New Game Plus? There's an achievement called Hell's Only Takes One Bullet. Finish the game on New Game Plus. Oh, no, wait. That would be impossible. Because we use guns in every single combat, so that wouldn't work. Would there be like an ammo restriction? Because in every single game, when you buy ammo, like Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, like there could be an ammo system throughout the whole game, and you have to keep up your...
Yeah, like supply. Instead of collecting like magic items, like the replenish your magic, you're collecting ammo.
Yeah, that could work.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like these ideas.
Yeah, hopefully they put them in there. And obviously they're going to have to bring back our favorite demon merchant.
That is true.
Yeah. Plus, also, we're going to have to use souls to purchase other powers and to purchase other powers.
Quick thing about this. The kid who we spared and then accidentally caused the Sin's release, would we have him return throughout the game during the Archangel section? Or would it be different humans at different sections? So what if Strife is seeing things from more human eyes?
Yeah, we have encountered more and more humans. That way he gets a broader spectrum.
On different types of humans. Like, one is sorrowful about the people who's died. One who's okay with people dying because he's a psycho.
And he runs into Uthane, which is a maker.
Yeah.
At some point. And they forge that human protection area along with the other two makers that are with Uthane at the time.
So Strife not only sees what he's done has caused more problems, but sees the world ending and different people having strife.
Yeah. And he helps create a place where, again, in Darksiders 3, all the humans are gathering up together just to try and survive everything. Yeah.
And near the end of near the final boss fight, that kid returns, and the Archangel knows Strife won't hurt him, so he uses him as a human shield.
Yeah.
So obviously that causes like a good cutscene where Strife knows what he needs to do, but at the same time they don't. The Furies don't feel. The Horsemen don't feel anything.
Not really.
But
because they wiped out their own kind.
But with this act, Strife is seeing more of a change in himself. So it's weird that the gunslinger, the Horseman of Strife, is seeing something more.
And it's the same thing that happened with Fury in Dark Souls 3. She goes around doing her mission, but also getting different perspectives from the King of Hollows,
the Charred Council, the Watcher.
The Watcher. And then also the other humans that she saves along the way.
And the Sins,
and the Sins as well. They all show her that not everything is as it seems.
Exactly.
And the one mission that the Hollow King sends you on to go kill a particular demon that's building the Citadel from the first game, even he says the person who sent you isn't what he seems.
Mm-hmm.
And that turns out to be true because you have to fight the King of Hollows either because you spared the demon that you were sent to kill, or you killed the demon you were sent to fight. Either way, you still have to fight him. Yeah. And he still becomes something more.
Mm-hmm. I like the symbolism that they really do. And even like through the Archangel bosses that we do, after defeating them, like they'll give like speeches and say like, we're superior, and they have like their own different views on humanity and like divinity. And Strife acknowledges what they're thinking, but also says, like for the first one, who's like the silent type, and like the shield bearer, basically saying that he was supposed to protect the humanity, but all they do is just cause problems. They cause war. They cause problems for their own kind. So why should people like us protect those of self-destruction. To which Strife can basically say, like, that's a choice. You can't blame many for the choices of few.
Yeah.
Just like you made a choice to align yourselves with them, I'm making my choice. Puts the gun right to his head and...
Yeah.
Something really cool like that. Kind of like
Yeah.
how Fury had words with the sins.
Yeah. And obviously, and the
It's
King of Halls as well.
always fun when they do like bosses that have those philosophical moments.
Yeah.
With the hero after a boss fight. It's always entertaining to see that kind of synergy and growth. Because it not only defines the villains, it defines the hero's growth of the story.
Yeah. And since each horseman gets their horse, obviously Strife would get his. But a fun mechanic with that, because they haven't really explored that, we could see how a horseman, when they're not off killing demons or angels or whatever, having a little bit of an off time as a reprieve from all of that, taking care of his horse.
I actually have. So the horsemen don't get their horses yet, right? The first three have.
They technically they all would have their horses, but War loses his because of what happened.
Okay.
And Death always has his, and Fury's has hers, and then she loses hers because it gets killed by angel weaponry.
Can okay. This is gonna be a little fucked up. I just kind of had this great idea.
Okay.
So, during final boss time, or first phase that leads to the final boss. Obviously, Strife doesn't hurt the kid that's being used as a shield.
Yeah.
So the final archangel calls him weak and says, "I'll make it easy for you."
Kills the kid.
Well, not kills the kid, not in
the traditional sense?
Not in the traditional sense, but basically rips his soul out and leaves his body.
Yeah.
So after the whole boss fight, an amazing scene, Strife holsters his weapon and goes to the boy's body.
Yeah.
And like sees it and like starts
feeling upset about
thinking about what it's an innocent soul got involved in this because of him.
Yeah.
And he thinks like, what if I actually like just let this like killed this kid before and like this wouldn't have happened. But then he starts thinking that someone else would have gotten involved. Someone else would have broken the seal. So knowing that this kid got involved, Strife feels guilty.
Yeah.
And that's when that merchant giant king thing comes in at the end of the game and says, "Do you feel regret for the choices you've made and that led to this?"
Yeah.
Strife obviously doesn't know what to say. Like he does, but at the same time he doesn't fully understand.
Yeah.
So he decides you can still make something of this. So the king gives Strife the power to make a choice.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to be like a choice decision. It's Strife's choice. So he gives the kid a mind of his own now, but something different. And transforms the boy into his horse.
Ooh.
So that Strife will now have a constant reminder.
Yeah. Or infuses the boy's soul into his horse.
No, like creates his horse out of the boy.
No, he would have already had his horse, because they all do have their horse.
Really?
The only reason that War loses his is because of what happens during the first moments of the
Actually, you know what? You got a good point here. Because I said the soul was split.
Yeah.
So the body is obviously gone, but the soul is still there. So yeah, he infuses his horse with the soul of the young boy.
Yeah.
To be a constant reminder to Strife that choices in the world, whether they're good or bad or
they have an impact.
Consequential or not, actions do have consequences.
Yeah.
So he wants a constant reminder of the choices he's made and to make sure no one else does it again.
Yeah. Yeah, that could work, yeah.
All right. So we've talked about the gun combat, the weaponry upgrades,
Yeah.
boss fights, story, a great lineage for Strife.
Yeah.
As throughout this journey, he feels like, again, it's all this. The whole thing about Strife is about choices.
Yeah.
The choices of what he decided not to do, the choices of the archangels that decided they're done protecting humanity. Yeah, this could be fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Hopefully that's the route they're going. Hopefully they do.
hopefully we don't have to.
Or at least something along the lines of what we discussed.
Hopefully after such a long time, the devs are looking online for people's ideas. Because it's almost 6 years now since Darksiders 3.
Yeah.
So, devs, if you're watching this, we're giving you ideas.
Yeah, and please don't screw up the game, because you're going to get a lot of Darksider fans on your ass if you do.
Yep, and not in the fun way.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this week's video. Thank you for joining in. The holiday season is just beginning. Also, I didn't mention this before, my final Femme Fatale art calendar for December, the Ice Queen, cold and lovely, just like someone's dumb decision to do this video without me.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, am I ever going to be forgiven for that? God damn it!
I'm sure we'll see him again. Join me next time, ladies and gentlemen, where we do a Christmassy video of a Funko review that's based on everyone's favorite Merc with the Mouth. This is Gamer K, logging out.